Hello, everyone. I've just gotten back from a master plan dieta in Pucallpa, Peru, with my maestros there, and boy, I work with a really good, very protective plant that obviously taught me a lot. But one of the things that the plant was teaching me now, at the beginning of January, we're starting the year. January is almost over, and we talked a lot about heart centered leadership. And there's a great organization out there called Heart Math Institute, and they have a lot of evidence based things about how the heart really drives the essence of leadership, which is the work that I do and the work that I've been studying, leadership for the past 27 years. And this is why in another video I posted a meditation about like from the heart. That's actually a meditation that I don't put for free because I teach it in my Alchemy of a Leader class. But the medicine asked me to give it out to the world. And I'm so happy that I dieted with this particular plant, because we were, in the communication, I talked to her a lot about, self leadership, because I'm a leadership coach, but I also want to master myself continuously, right? We don't stop mastering ourselves until we take our last breath. And I want to talk to you about that. I want to talk to you about alchemy of a leader, and I want to talk to you about, you know, how do we as humans, it seems that every single year there is always something going on in the world. I mean, it's not just what's happening right now. Ever since I was born, there's always a controversy, a crisis, and the same patterns keep repeating amongst individuals. They feel stuck, they show up, they do the work, they think that they're doing the meditation, they're doing the affirmations, they're doing everything, and still something is missing. When something is missing when you go to bed at night, and if you don't feel at peace, man, there's just something that's not working out. Maybe it's not something working out in a relationship, in a job, with your health, something, right? And everybody just keeps getting stuck and repeating the same patterns. So let's talk about getting unstuck. Leadership itself begins with leading yourself first. There's no way you can lead in your job, lead in your family, lead with your children if you don't know how to lead yourself. And when we're learning how to lead ourselves, what is the level of respect that I have for myself, my temple, right? Physically, emotionally, spiritually, how much love I give to myself. And that is a conditioning from where we are born, right? We're victims of victims of victims. It wasn't the fault of our parents. And I'm not saying that maybe your mom or dad did something that, um, good or bad, it doesn't matter. The art of forgiveness is very important when we're doing self leadership. Even if you don't want to talk to them, whatever happened, it really doesn't matter. The thing is that when we know how to lead ourselves, we forgive, we move on, we learn why is it that we chose to come here to earth, why we chose our parents, why we chose all the conditions, and when we start learning that we design everything, we're architects, we're the master architects. We are the alchemist of how we lead on a daily basis. That's when real breakthroughs are going to happen. By the way, I share a lot more insights in my weekly newsletter. So if you want to sign up for my newsletter, go to awakeninnercourage.com, sign up for my newsletter. You get more information and more insights on a weekly basis then. Or if you want to join one of my classes, Alchemy of a Leader, we have one coming up in April where I take a deeper dive into this topic. Now, if you want to take the class and if you want to dive deeper, as I do several times a year, then come and join me for a master plan dieta in the jungles of Peru in June. Both the class and the dieta will combine all of this, because this class and this work really surrounds about around a concept called the hero's journey. I'm not sure if you're familiarized with the hero's journey, but a mythologist, Joseph Campbell, pioneered this concept. The movie Star Wars, the actor Luke Skywalker, is centered around the path of the hero's journey. Now, the hero is not that, you know, savior that they show in the movies, that it's dressed up in a cape like those superheroes, and here they come and save the world. We're all heroes, right? And this is called the path of the everyday hero, which was pioneered by the creator of this course, Dr. Michael Ray from Stanford University. It was a class given to master degree students at Stanford University in really how to find not only your purpose, when you're stuck and you don't know, which way to go. There's a lot of tools, mindfulness tools, tricks and tips. This is not about making you a monk. This is not about making you a super meditator. This is about you getting one thing that it is, for me, it is the ultimate medicine a leader can have. And that's clarity. Because if I clear the noise, if I clear what's here, right, my third eye, that eye that can see, if I build the muscle of intuition is a muscle. So it's like going to the mental gym, right? So we're clearing the noise, clearing the garbage so that we can see clear. And when we have clarity, there's creativity. And when there's creativity, there are breakthroughs. But what happens in the path of the everyday hero, it's like the alchemist. That's why it's called Alchemy of a Leader. We're alchemizing, we're turning this into greatness, but it's not a straight line. It is often a line that goes up and downs, and there is a path. Before we can go up and ascend, we have to descend into what's called the shadow work. So we have to know, we have to hit that brick wall of frustration. Because when we have the calling, and we all get a calling, this is not working, this needs to change. My behaviors, I'm sabotaging myself. When that is happening, that's the calling. What tends to happen to a lot of people is that they refuse that call. They don't want to do anything about it, so they prefer to numb themselves. And how do they numb themselves? Scrolling on social media, uh, ongoing Netflix, watching TV, focusing on the news. There's always two sides of the story, right? So if we focus on one side, that could be very, very dangerous. Alcohol, drugs, all those things numb us from that which is calling us to be a better versions of ourselves. If we do answer the call, the initiation happens. And what happens when we are initiated? It goes up and down, it goes up and down. And there are times where we're like, why did I even get into this? Because it gets very rocky, very hard. But remember, we're the master architects. So we design all of this. So through those ups and downs, when we have the right tools, the journey becomes magical, because we get to learn so much about ourselves. We get to learn so much about who do we want around us to elevate us, to inspire us. And what we're doing is inspiring ourselves to greatness, so that every day, I'm not saying that bad things or are not going to happen to you, they're going to happen. But the way we respond to them. So, in essence, we stop, we get to notice, and then we get to choose how we respond to things. And then we begin to find a deeper peace inside of us, physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. And then we can live our lives. And when we get to bed at night, we feel that sense of peace, which is really what the majority of us are looking for. So if you're feeling like, my gosh, is this it? Something is not right, but I don't know how to get to the next step, allow me to help you. Whether you want to join one of my classes or you prefer more one on one intimate, I work with founders, CEOs, leaders around the world because they know that when something is not right, they can't properly function at work, they can't properly function in their homes, or maybe it is that they just need a better strategy, right? The version of this class for organizations is called a culture catalyst because now we're working towards the culture of our organization and how do we really drive what's going to make an organization great, and that is teamwork, which is exactly the same thing in society, which is why I posted that meditation of light from the heart. Because if I'm giving leadership from my heart to others, if I'm showing that love every day, if I have that frequency of love every day, it has a ripple effect. And then another person is practicing love, and then another person, then another person, and then all of a sudden, a community is in peace, in harmony, in coherence. Imagine the effect that that could have on the world. So if you want to have more insights, remember, go to awakeninnercourage.com, sign up for my weekly newsletter where I share more insights and everything on my shamanic path and the corporate world and everything I do. If you feel the call that you want to dive deeper, don't be afraid to reach out. Contact me through Awaken Inner Courage. You get a free consultation. There are classes that you can join and really work through. It's an 8 week program. A lot of people are scared. 8 week is too much, but you really get to dive in, get to know yourself. I'll show you how to get to the bridge, but crossing it, that's your job. That's your job because that's self mastery that you can do it. You can find that you have the medicine inside of you. You want to dive really deeper into something that you are, I can't get rid of this addiction. I don't know what to do anymore. I can't. And you want to dive deeper and heal on a deeper level, then join me in June in a master plan dieta in Peru. I'm Alexandra. Hope to see you next time. Hope to see you in one of my courses. And we'll be chatting soon. Take care.